on the way back. They're trailing in the rejuvenated NFC Central Division, the Chicago Bears and the Minnesota Vikings by just one game. And the Miami Dolphins coming off of two impressive victories, trailing the Buffalo Bills by just one in the AFC East. And good afternoon, everyone. I'm James Brown. Well, today is a day to pump up the footballs and watch them fly. No, it's not quite Mantle against Mays, but Marino against Mikowski should provide, that is, to be an interesting aerial show. Now, the Packers will have to forget last week's loss against the Minnesota Vikings, during which Mikowski was sacked 8 times, while the Dolphins, on the other hand, with Air Marino, will somehow desperately try to find a running attack to complement their passing game. And the guy I'm working with today ought to know a little bit about the passing attack, Ken Stabler, and both of these quarterbacks are very explosive, but are a little different in style.
Well, JB, in my mind, Dan Marino is the best pure pocket passer the game has to offer. But that doesn't always get you to the winner's circle. They've got to get their running game much more involved. And on defense, of course, they're going to have to pressure and contain Don Mikowski.
Coming into this season, Don Mikowski was a no-name, but he's changed a little bit of that snake.
Well, Don Mikowski is the prototype quarterback of the 90s, a la John Elway and Randall Cunningham. He can run, he can scramble, he's smart and tough, but he'll have to get on track much earlier. He's been a second-half quarterback. If they're going to keep improving, he has to get started much earlier.
Miami has won the coin toss and have elected to receive Green Bay, improving indeed, has won 5 of their last 8 regular season games, but have yet to beat the Miami Dolphins. Dolphins own a 5-0 record against the Green Bay Packers. Chris Jackie will be kicking off for the Green Bay Packers. Back deep, Mark Logan, Ron Davenport. And Mark Logan leads the NFL in kickoff returns, a dangerous man indeed. And as you watch the football tumble off of the tee, that will be something to watch today. There's a good, strong wind down on the field. 12 to 15 mile per hour gusts down on the field. As you take a look at the flags there, the wind is going right to left on your TV screen. And Chris Jackie boots this one underway. And Mark Logan takes it out of his own end zone. Logan, good second effort up around the 23, stopped by Burnell Dent. Dan Marino, as excellent a quarterback as he is, his best performances have come against the Packers. Offensive line doing the protecting, 18 straight games without allowing a sack. Jeff Dellenbach, Roy Foster, our rookie, Jeff Mulnick, first rookie ever to start at the center spot. Harry Galbraith, Ronnie Lee, and Farrell Edmonds. Troy Stratford, Mark Logan in for the injured Sammy Smith, Dubert, Clayton, Jim Jensen, and Freddie Banks in on obvious passing situations. 1st and 10 for the Dolphins. On the ground, trying to establish the running attack. Mark Logan. A 4-yard gain on the play by Mark Logan. Dan Marino himself expressed to Kenny Stabler yesterday he would like nothing better than to have a strong running game to complement the passing game.
Yeah,
2nd and 6.
Takes a lot of pressure off of him, JB, if they can get any kind of running game going.
And on the ground again, Troy Stratford, pickup of about 3. The Packer defense that the Dolphins will be facing. Blaze Winter, Bob Nelson, and Robert Brown. Winter and Brown flip-flop positions. John Anderson, Brian Noble, Johnny Holland, and Tim Harris. Tim Harris, the chatterbox, the linebacking core. And a secondary, Mark Lee, Dave Brown, Ken Stills, and nicked up Mark Murphy, Tiger Green, and Van Jakes, the 5th and 6th defensive backs. 3rd and 3 for the Dolphins with 4 wideouts in. Incomplete. Intended receiver was Troy Stratford out of the backfield. And the fans wanted pass interference, but good coverage.
Good coverage. That nickel package, they come in, cover them extremely tight along the line of scrimmage, and have deep help with their safeties to give them the support on the deep side. Here's a matchup that we'll be watching most of the day. Tim Harris, their great pass rusher, number 97. Good moves, almost to Marino. Almost doesn't count, though.
So Reggie Roby will come in to punt for the Dolphins. Jeff Query, rookie, back for the Packers. A low snap, and Roby somehow gets a good one away, but there is a flag on the play as Roby is dropped. And Query, the return should be for naught as Reggie Roby was knocked down, the kicker. Somehow Roby still got off a 54-yard punt, only a 5-yard return by Jeff Query. And what Red Cashin was trying to get out loud that time was Tiger Green, the guilty party.
Well, here's Roby. It's going to be Tiger Green, number 23. Tries to get a hand on it and avoid Roby. Doesn't. You have to take an angle that if you dive at the football to try to block it, that you're going to miss that kicker completely. An angle 3-4 yards in front of the punter.
First and 10 for the Dolphins. Ball at their own 35. Play action. Low pass, incomplete. Marino didn't quite have the target that time. Intended receiver was Mark Logan.
Well, they come with a little play pass. They know Tim Harris is going to be rushing from the right linebacker spot. Little play pass to try to get their back. Logan on Johnny Holland, number 50.
Jim Jensen then replaces Mark Logan. Stratton. First down.
The thing that helps him get the first down here is watch the block by the outside receiver. Watch Duper. That's what you have to get out of your receivers other than catching the ball. When Stratford bounces the ball outside right here, watch him jump in behind. Right there, number 83, I'm sorry, it's Mark Clayton. He gets a little bit of a block, which enables him to get the first down.
And Clayton, not a big man at 5'9", 184, but a big heart on that block. Jim Jensen goes out. Mark Logan returns. First and 10, ball at the 47 of Miami. On the ground again. Stratford. Inside the 45. Troy Stratford. Good run.
Watch the left guard, number 61, Roy Foster, come out. They pull the off guard away from the point of attack, 61. He kicks out 97, Harris. Gives Stratford a lane to run in right off of his block. That's the type of running game that Miami has to establish early.
Second and short. And Logan gets the first down plus a couple of yards to spare. So the ground game that Marino was looking for working well so far.
You bet, and nobody wants it more than Dan Marino. You need that running game. You need that running game to take the pressure off of your passing game.
Face mask, number 37 on the defense. First down.
Mark Murphy, the culprit that time. Miami will pick up some extra yardage.
I think the thing you have to like early here, JB, initially, is the fact that they are getting a good running game going early.
Stratford and Logan, the backs. First and 10, ball at the 36 of Green Bay. Marino, complete for the first down and plenty more to Mark Duper.
Just a little short post thing in there with a three-strop drop coming from Marino. There it is, 1, 2, 3, back and cut it loose. There's that zone between the linebackers. Nice throw.
Don Shula said, in fact, we've been paying lip service to trying to acquire a running game the past couple of years. We're more serious about it this year. Made it serious by getting Sammy Smith.
A little bit frustrated with Sammy Smith right now. The nagging injuries have really kept him behind.
First and 10 from the 20. And Mark Logan recovers the fumble for the Dolphins.
Sometimes, JB, when you get a rookie center, and that's what they have, they've got a rookie center in right now, you're going to have those exchange problems. You're not used to working with each other over a long period of time, although they say that Ulenek has really stepped in, fit in well, making the calls that he needs to make, and has fit in well with that offensive line.
Shula has really expressed a lot of confidence in him.
For a rookie center.
Jim Jensen in to replace Mark Logan. Packers with their nickel defensive package in. 2nd and 11 for the Dolphins. Marino, the handoff to Stratford. Stratford, big hole.
Right over the right side, you're going to see Harry Galbraith, 62, and watch number 11. Watch number 11 right there. Watch him come in there, get the block. That's Jim Jensen. He does an awful lot of things for you. Catches the ball, throws the ball. He's blocked the punt. Now he's blocking for the running game. Valuable player.
3rd and 1. Ball marked at the 11 of Green Bay. Here's Jensen in motion. And Logan with the yardage for the first down. Mark Logan would not have made this team were it not for his special teams capabilities and value.
Came in on special teams, and that's one way to make yourself noticed when you're trying to make a football team as a rookie or free agent or trade, is to make some noise on special teams. Make the tackles. Do whatever it takes to help the team.
Don Shula staying true to his word, saying Mark Logan would see a lot of action on Sunday, and certainly is on this series here. 1st and goal for the Dolphins. Ball at the 8. Stratford. Not much daylight there. Maybe a yard. Give Johnny Holland the credit on the tackle. You know, Snake, we talked so much about Shula wanting to focus on the running game. Nobody was happier about that than Troy Stratford.
Well, Troy Stratford, of course, he wants to carry the ball and get involved any way that he can. And for a running back, that's what you want. Carry the mail.
Jensen in, Logan out. 2nd and goal, ball at the 7. Jensen in motion. This is Jensen. Touchdown, Miami. Dan Marino's favorite target.
Well, we talked about how valuable he is. He does so many things, and he and Marino have a natural chemistry out there, and I think it's because Jensen really understands what Dan wants. He understands defenses. He knows when to break, when not to. Very valuable.
Pete Stoyanovich attempting the point after. Bad snap, recovered in time, and it's good. So the Dolphins move out by a touchdown as Dan Marino finds his good friend off the field. Jim Jensen on the field, who takes it in for the score, and the Dolphins on top, 7-0.
You take that guy right there, and he spends an awful lot of time with Dan Marino off the field, and I'm sure they talk a lot of shop. He knows what Dan wants in the passing game. He comes in and does whatever's necessary. He will line up in the backfield. He lines up as a split receiver. He's blocked a punt this year, as we said earlier, and just does an awful lot of things. You see that graphic there. It just reinforces how much confidence they have in him on 3rd down. 41 times out of 48, he's picked up the first down for them.
Might also tell receivers they'll spend a little more time with the quarterback off the field, huh? Pete Stoyanovich picking off for the Dolphins. Jeff Query and Vince Workman back for the Packers. And Snake and I talked about that win down on the field. And Stoyanovich is having a little trouble keeping the ball on the tee. May have to get a teammate to hold it for him. And that's exactly what Don McNeil does. to the wind, a short one. This is Workman at the 11. And Workman spins his way up across the 30 for the Packers. So Don Mikowski will get the Pack operating. Not a very good outing last week against Minnesota as Mikowski picked himself up off of the turf 8 times. Offensive line didn't do a great job. Rutgers, Rich Moran, Blair Bush, Ron Hallstrom, Alan Weingrad, and Ed West. Backs and receivers, Keith Woodside, Brent Forwood having a great year. Sterling Sharp, Perry Kemp, Jeff Query, and Carl Bland in on obvious passing situations. This is Don Mikowski and the Pack from their own 31. On the ground, this is Forwood. Two-yard run by Brent Forwood. Ran into a strong defense that time, and the Miami defensive line. Jackie Klein starting in place of T.J. Turner, Brian Stochet, and a vastly improved Jeff Frost. Linebackers, the Graybeards they call themselves, E.J. Jr., Dave Aarons, Barry Krause, and Hugh Green. Secondary, Langford and Judson may be the weak spots. Lewis Oliver, Jarvis Williams, Lippert Hobley, and Rodney Thomas, nickel and dime backs for the Dolphins. On second down, Forwood banging his way forward. Maybe a 5-yard run. And again, as we underscored, the weather conditions here, the wind especially. Not very hot here in Miami, but the wind 12 to 15 miles per hour, blowing right to left on your screen.
I think the only way that wind might affect the passing game, JB, is if they try to throw the ball down the field into the wind. Both teams are facing zone defenses. Shorter passing, I don't think the wind would be a factor.
Dime defensive package in for the Dolphins on 3rd and 3. Mikowski completes to Perry Kemp for the first down. So Don Mikowski finds Commodore Perry Kemp for the first down.
Well, this ball control offense, you're going to see the outside receiver come in there for the little short slant-type pattern after it's cleared out by the slot man. Quick drop by Mikowski, just the way Marino was doing in his series, takes that for the first down. I think we'll see an awful lot of short to intermediate passing today because both teams play conservative zone-type coverages.
Lindy Infante, anything but conservative in his offensive scheme. 1st and 10 from the 44. And on the ground again, Forwood banging it up for a 4-yard gain up the gut.
You know, this offense is exciting to watch, and they've really moved the ball up and down the field against everybody that they played other than the Minnesota group. And when they play best is when they get Brent Forwood, number 21, their running back. When they get him involved and he has a 100-yard day, it's an exciting offense to watch.
Well, Forwood is on target for a 1,000-yard season, something that Lindy Infante said he expected of Brent this year. This is Forwood. First down. Flag on a play as Brent Forwood is driven out of bounds by Lewis Oliver. The flag dropped near the 40 of Miami. Red Cashin, the veteran lead official today. And this goes against Miami, so the Packers on the march. Don Shula wanting to know where. Who did it?
Holding during the run. Number 98 on the defense. First down.
And that's Jackie Klein, who's starting in place of the injured T.J. Turner, who was involved in a car accident on Thursday night.
Well, they come in with Jackie Klein. I think they get a good run defender with Jackie Klein. They may lose a little in rushing the passer.
And that Miami pound machine, the defensive line, has been playing so well, leading the AFC in sacks. Right now, the Pack on the march. 1st and 10 from the 34 of Miami. Out to Woodside. Woodside. A juke move, gets inside the 35, dropped by Brian Sochet.
again, expecting the zone coverage, which they did get. They were dragging their tight end across the field. If they picked him up, he lays the ball off to Woodside. You know, the guy that plays that particular position that Keith Woodside plays has to have the skills of a wide receiver, because they're going to split him out a lot, put him in motion a lot, and throw the ball at him.
Miami defense did the job on the last play. A loss of 1 on the play. 2nd and 11 for the Pack. Forward. Trying to go up the gut. A 5-yard run by Brent Fullwood.
You know, I think both teams come out, and both teams have had a little bit of problem running the ball. Miami more than Green Bay. So I think if they come out and they say, listen, we're going to establish the run today. We're going to hammer the ball, hammer the ball, hammer the ball, get our running game going, and then throw the ball. And I think that's what we're seeing right now. Both teams concentrating on running the ball right now.
May not be a bad idea for Green Bay, because Mikowski's had such difficulty getting untracked in the first half.
Let him get settled in there for a good second half. Good point.
3rd and 6 for the Pack. Dime defensive package in for the Dolphins. Complete to Kemp. And Kemp shy of the first down marker. Good defensive coverage by Rodney Thomas, second-year player out of BYU. So Chris Jackie will come on for the Packers, attempting a field goal. This will be a 44-yard attempt by Chris Jackie, the rookie out of UTEP. He's got the wind with him. And it's good. So Chris Jackie boots the Packers on the scoreboard. Miami leads it 7-3.
4, 3.
About the passing game, but what does the ground attack do for the passing game?
Well, I think anytime you get your running game going, it gives you the opportunity to play past in. It brings out more of your arsenal of plays. You can fake to the backs coming in the line and do a lot of different things, play action passing.
All right. Chris Jackie with the kicking off for the Packers. And Logan takes it at the 5. And Logan showing you moves that have helped them to the lead on kickoff return. Stopped by Burnell Dent. Some good college action yesterday. Ken Stabler was smiling as Alabama rolled over Tennessee 47-30. Penn State was idle, but they'll be in action next week as Alabama takes on Penn State. That'll be coming your way live at 2:30 Eastern Time next week here on CBS.
That young quarterback at Alabama is playing pretty good.
Had some outstanding fakes. Out of the pro set, Marino back to pass on first down. Looking for Farrell Edmonds, complete. And Farrell Edmonds looked that one in, and I emphasize that because he's had a problem holding on to the ball, Snake.
Well, that's the player right there, Edmonds, their tight end, if they would like to get involved in their passing game more. It becomes awfully important when people start doubling the outside guys of Duper and Clayton. You've got to get him involved in the offense. They've given him the chance. He just really hasn't made the plays.
Hasn't held on to the ball. Has been working with some video games to work on his hand-eye coordination. A 9-yard pass play from Marino to Edmonds. Mark Logan spins with a good second effort for the first down. Washington and Tampa, another game on the NFL docket. Let's go to New York and Brent.
James, first let me get you up to date on Kansas City and Dallas, because Kevin Porter, number 27, gets a little bit greedy. And first of all, we got a blocked punt here by Tampa Bay. I'm sorry, and the Buccaneers run it in for the touchdown. Ricky Reynolds, he scored on an intercepted pass a week ago, so the Bucs lead Washington 7-zip. Back to James.
All right, Brent. 1st and 10 for the Dolphins here. Ball marked at their own 39. Marino. Complete to Clayton on the left side. And stopped immediately by Mark Murphy.
Mark Murphy not at full strength. A good safety that's not the best cover guy, but they don't use him that way. They let him sit back there in center field and and read things, and he's great at coming up and supporting the run. Good tackler.
Not especially gifted, but he's been around for 8 years. Why so, Snake?
Well, it's because of his experience. He sees that back there, and he's a good center fielder. And as I said, they like to get him up near the line of scrimmage on the strong side where he can get up and support the run.
Gain of only 2 on the play. Brings up a 2nd and 8. Play action. Complete again, this time to Mark Duper. And that was good enough for the first down. This telecast is presented by authority of the National Football League and is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the Miami Dolphins and the National Football League is prohibited. That Washington-Tampa Bay game. Washington better watch out. Tampa Bay can play. Ron Davenport in, replacing Mark Logan. 1st and 10. Marino complete over the middle to Duper for another first down. So Marino saw something that he liked.
Well, I think he got to an audible, and all he's going to do is the same thing he did on this side early in the first series, is take that little slant in there. You see those linebackers. He sees Tim Harris, 97, moving out to the outside, throws it right in behind him. Good call. Short, crisp passing game.
Enough for 18 yards. Ball at the 31 of Green Bay. 1st and 10. Marino rolling. Finds Clayton. And a good second effort by Mark Clayton, who was not open initially. 4-yard pass play. Partly cloudy day here in Miami. Joe Robbie Stadium, interconference battle between the Green Bay Packers and the Miami Dolphins. Dolphins lead it 7-3. James Brown along with Ken Stabler, and both teams emphasizing the ground game, but Marino's starting to open up now.
Well, and I think that ground game will help him. They're running the ball successfully. Now he'll get into that short play pass type situation, and that's when he's tough.
Second and 5. Little mix-up. And Mark Logan pays the price as Tim Harris, the not-so-quiet one, the linebacker for the Packers, comes in and drops him.
Well, they don't want to wake him up. Once he gets excited, and he's starting to get a little excited right now. Here comes the finger pointing and the talking. And that's when he plays best. He's a very emotional player, and he says that's part of his game. Get out there and talk to the guys. Try to distract them, maybe get them off of their game.
He says he knows it works. May not get a Pro Bowl selection as a result, but that's all right. He says he's effective on the field. Matter of fact, many officials start talking to him before the game starts about his talking. 3rd and 6 for the Dolphins. 4 wideouts in. Freddie Banks and Jim Vinson, the 3rd and 4th wide receiver. Intercepted by Pitts. Touchdown saved by Dan Marino as Ron Pitts intercepts him, giving it to Green Bay.
Well, once too often, they're going to try to get a little out route right there to Jensen because of the success they've had with him on 3rd down. Of course, the Pack also knows that. Pitts, the cornerback, number 28 on that right side, Ron Pitts, plays it, looks to the inside, steps in front. When you have that kind of success with one guy, you can bet that the other team's also aware of that, and they'll be playing it.
And certainly, as Pack fans know, the son of former Packer Elijah Pitts. 33-yard return by Ron Pitts. What a way to end the quarter. Start of the second quarter. Packers with the ball at the 42 of Miami. 1st and 10. This is Michael Haddix. And Haddix, with a good second effort, gets down near the 35. The former Philadelphia Eagle.
Well, their defense does a good job of turning the ball over for the offense. That's one of the things that they haven't been doing this year. Their giveaway-takeaway ratio is not what they would like it to be. But one thing you have to be happy with, or their coaches have to be happy with, on the Green Bay side of the ball, is the way that they're running. This first down play right here gets them 7, 8 yards, opens up all of your offense to get Sharp, Fullwood, everybody involved.
7-yard spin run by Michael Haddix makes it 2nd and 3. And Haddix again getting near the first down marker. Stopped by E.J. Jr. E.J. Jr. Now, the linebacking core of the Dolphins call themselves the Graybeards, but he's the youngest of the group, not quite 30.
Not quite 30, the youngest of the group. And I think what that experienced group of linebackers bring, Krause, E.J. Jr., Aarons, Hugh Green, they bring experience to a young team that's trying to develop.
And Michael Haddix brought a first down for the Packers on that run, making it 1st and 10, ball at the 32 of Miami. Complete to Woodside. And Woodside near the 26-yard line. Pickup of 7 on the play.
Again, that's, as we said, we're going to see a lot of that short, crisp passing game. And the reason for that is because of the zone-type defenses. They're going to lay back, drop those linebackers out of there, give you that little thing in front, not try to give up the big play.
Just underway in the second quarter here. 13-15 remaining in the first half. Miami leading 7-3. Green Bay marching. Didn't fool the Dolphins. Herman Fontenot had no daylight. Jackie Klein darkened the sky and made the tackle.
Well, they try to get Fontenot in a reverse. Their running game is going so well, they're going to fake the running game. There's the fake to Haddix, the handoff to Fontenot. But Sauché is having nothing to do with it. Reads it, gets the penetration, forces them into a bad play.
3rd and 7. And a great catch by Aubrey Matthews.
Well, they're going to clear out with these people. They're going to bring Aubrey Matthews underneath. Again, you hate to keep saying it, but it's because of the drop of the linebackers and the zone-type coverages. They let him clear out of there. They bring him underneath. There's a completion for the first down.
Little Aubrey Matthews from Little Delta State, former Atlanta Falcons player. 1st and 10, ball at the 20 of Miami. Haddix. Initial tackle made by Jarvis Williams as Michael Haddix continues to drive the legs. At 6'2", 227, that's a little bit of power driving forward for 5 yards.
Load, he's their good inside runner, good between the tackles, and you take a Fullwood who has the good speed, good inside runner, but best when he bounces things out off the corners.
Packers not quite there yet, Snake, but definitely made a lot of improvement this year.
I don't think there's any doubt about it. This team is improved, 3-3 coming in this game, only 1 game out in the Central Division, and I think that's because of the development of Don Mikowski, plus they've got a good running game going with Brent Fullwood.
Haddix and Fontenot, the backs. On 2nd and 5. Play action. Complete to Fontenot. And Fontenot near the first down marker. Let's see where they mark it. And Fontenot has been very active for the Packers in the last 3 games, scoring 4 touchdowns. 5th-year player out of LSU.
And we see the play pass action coming in there. Once you get that running game going, they give it a little play fake, try to get those backs on the corners, try to get them out there matched up with a linebacker.
And as you saw, shy of the first down marker, Tony Mandarich in the game for the Packers. All 6'5", 315 pounds of them.
Boy, you like to see those big guys come in there and line up in front of you.
Particularly on 3rd and short. Line up to the right side of the line. And Fullwood has the first down. He's still on his feet. 8-yard run by Brent Fullwood.
great leg strength and great determination here to pick up the first down. He's going to bounce this. He hits the hole there, then spins and bounces it outside. And look at the determination and the leg drive. Brent Fullwood over Tony Mandrich. Here you see Tony Mandrich. One of the reasons they will bring him in on a short yardage run situation is because he's behind in his pass protection.
Takes up an awful lot of space. Give credit defensively to a good second effort to Jarvis Williams.
Enough material in that uniform to make a pair of drapes.
For Baldwin. Forward. Not much daylight. We'll bring up second and goal, ball at the 3. Many people would like to see him in there more often, but you mentioned being an offensive lineman, you must be in camp on time.
You bet. You get behind on everything. It takes a long time to catch up, and you see that graphic there. I'm sure he'd like to be in on a few more snaps himself.
Loss of 1 on the play. 2 tight ends, Ed West, Clint Didier, for the pass. Forward.
Well, you got to get penetration if you're a defensive lineman. They get some penetration right there. Number 97 gets some penetration. E.J. Jr. 54 gets some penetration. There's Soche. Good goal line short yardage defense.
And the man who stopped it initially, Barry Krause, 11th year veteran out of Alabama. Wanting to play well because John Offerdahl signed after an 81-day holdout. 3rd and goal from the 4. Flags everywhere.
False start. Number 73 on the offense. First down.
That's Alan Weingrad.
Alan Weingrad right there in the up position, in the pass protecting position. Needs to try to get a little bit of a jump to get back, to give his quarterback the protection. Moves just a little bit too soon. Worst place on the field to have penalties.
Ball moved back to the 9. We'll bring up 3rd and goal from the 9. Jeff Query felt what a B-2 bomber must feel like.
Jeff Query's going to come in from the outside after the slot man clears things out. Here he comes around the 10, 12-yard line. But there's one of the B-2 bombers coming in there to make a crash landing.
Lewis Oliver and Jarvis Williams, self-named the B-2 bombers. This will be a 22-yard field goal attempt by Chris Jackie. And it's good. So Green Bay, thanks to 2 field goals by Chris Jackie, trail Miami by 1.
One of the B-2 bombers, Lewis Oliver, making that play along with Jarvis Williams, 2 guys from Florida, proclaim themselves to be the B-2 bombers, and I guess they say that they're the latest in high-tech defensive equipment. The bombers.
I don't think Query will argue with that. And Logan takes it from the end zone. And Mark Logan with an excellent return across the 25. Miami will have it when we return.
It's that special time of year.
By Miller Lite, official sponsor of the NFL Player of the Year Award. Miller Lite brings you the NFL's best. New York Life, the company you keep. And by Toyota's quality line of cars and trucks. Toyota, I love what you do for me.
CBS coverage of the National Football League starts next Sunday at 12:30 Eastern with the NFL Today. Then some of you will see the Detroit Lions taking on the Green Bay Packers, while others will see the LA Rams against the Chicago Bears. CBS doubleheader coverage continues with an exciting interconference game as the Philadelphia Eagles with Randall Cunningham battles John Elway and the Denver Broncos. That ought to be an exciting matchup there next week right here on CBS. 1st and 10 for the Dolphins. Ball marked at their own 27. Out of the I formation. Stratford sneaks through a hole up near the 30. 3-yard gain. Tampa Bay on top of Washington. I mentioned before, they certainly better watch out. Washington, that is. And Herschel Walker having a good day so far. 6 carries, 46 yards. Vikings on top. That Tampa Bay defense, not a flashy one, but an effective one.
Playing really well together. They're all just flying the ball. Yeah, speaking of flashy, batteries not included. See what that says on the back?
I don't think he wants you to read it, just see it, huh? 2nd and 7. Out of the I. Packers with their guy make that the nickel defensive package. No need as Robert Brown drops him for a 2-yard loss. Troy Stratford, the ball carrier.
111 consecutive game starts. That's consistency and a player that anchors that off that defensive line for the Pack. They've had a lot of guys in and out of the nose position. They've had guys in and out of the left end positions, but that guy right there has remained constant.
Longest stretch of any Packer, current or history.
Don't go too far right because of the rush. Just get up in there and just let the ball go. But
3rd and 9. 4 wideouts in for the Dolphins. Marino to Stratford. 1st down. And a whole lot more. .28 yards to be exact.
Here's Stratford, but watch all these people run off. The linebackers, the defensive people all run off, and they got the perfect play against it. Look at everybody running off. They run off all the corners. Then he screams the ball out here to Stratford. Very good call versus the zones that they've been receiving, and they get a big play out of it. Breaks a nice tackle there, and he's got them in good shape.
Ron Davenport and Troy Stratford in the backfield for the Dolphins. Marino back to pass on 1st down. Intercepted by Mark Murphy. And the intended receiver was Farrell Edmonds off of his fingertips. Catchable ball, Snake, or
yeah,
what?
Sure, you got to make that play. I mean, the ball is a little bit high, but a tight end that's going to play and be effective in any offense has got to make that catch. As we said earlier, that's what he's failed to do this year, is to make the play.
You know, baseball cards are real popular these days. For one Ron Say, I can get a whole case of my favorite beer, Miller Lite. I don't want some watered down.
Green Bay trailing Miami by only 1. Dan Marino keeping the ball on the ground, looking good statistically. Dolphins on top 7-6. And just a moment ago, it was Farrell Edmonds who didn't quite have control of that ball. Don Shula went over to talk to him afterwards and say, hey, little encouragement, buddy.
Right there, he's going to run that little post route right down through there. Now, this would have been a tough catch, but you have to make that catch. You have to be able to get up there. He gets both hands on it. He has to come up with it.
And Edmonds is a big target at 6'6", 252. High hopes for this young man. A lot of potential, but he's got to catch him. 1st and 10 for the Pack. At its own 24, 5:18 remaining in the 1st half. Trailing by 1. Play action. Intended receiver was Perry Kemp. Mikowski may have felt the heat that time.
Turned the ball off just a little bit prematurely then. Needs to hold the ball back there. Let the receiver, Perry Kemp, let him come out of his move, and then bring him back down the sideline with it.
Snake, any thoughts on why Mikowski might be a little slow getting started in the 1st half of contests?
Well, possibly because of being as young a player as he is, a 3-year player, and not that much experience. Maybe it takes him a half, go in at halftime, make the adjustments, come out and play.
Out of the I formation, 2nd and 10. Play action. Woodside. Across the 30. You know, Snake, I've never seen a wide receiver or heard a wide receiver or running back who didn't say they want the ball more, but these guys for Green Bay said we wanted it more, and they're doing something with it this year.
Well, they are. You put the ball in the hands of a Sterling Sharp and Brent Fullwood and an exciting young quarterback like they have in Mikowski. They can do a lot of things. They're fun to watch. They need a couple of players maybe on the corners defensively.
Many people compare Mikowski to the quarterbacks of old, a throwback, a tough, gritty type.
You bet.
And Sterling Sharp, who has played quarterback in his career in high school, wants to play quarterback. Don't think it'll happen here. 3rd and 2 for the Pack. Fontenot, second effort, gets him the first down. Ryan Sochet drops him.
Well, it's a dangerous pass to let that ball hang in the air that long. They let the players come. You see Beingrad 73 let Socha go to let him get penetration. Then he gets out to try to get a block. But you got to be careful hanging that ball in the air like that.
Maybe asking the obvious, but why not on that particular play hang it up like that?
Well, if he had to get it over people. They let the defensive line rush the passer, let him get on him quick. Once they get the penetration, then you try to get the ball over the top of them. But you can't let it hang too much.
Fullwood, the lone back, on 1st and 10 for the Pack from the 35. This is Fullwood. And Fullwood with a 7-yard run to the left.
Good first down yardage. You come up with the 2nd and 3s and the 2nd and 4s in your offense. That's all you can ask. And like that opens up the play passing situation, lets you do a lot of things, the reverses, the tosses, the draws. You can do it all. Good first down yardage. Important in any offense. Doesn't matter if it's run and shoot or if it's a conventional offense. First down, very, very important.
We'll call it an 8-yard gain, bringing up a 2nd and 2. Ed West and Clint Didier in, 2 tight ends for the Pack. Woodside in motion. Fullwood, the ball carrier. No room. No gain. Flag on the play. And the holding call goes against Green Bay.
Holding, number 57 on the offense, still 2nd down.
That's Rich Moran. We've got a Herschel Walker update from New York. Let's go to Brent Musburger.
James, we've got a 4th and goal for the Minnesota Vikings, and it'll be the main man, Herschel Walker, his first touchdown as a Viking. And the Vikes now lead the Lions 13-zip. Incidentally, Kansas City has just scored again on Dallas. Back to you, James.
All right, Brent. Jerry Burns, the head coach of the Vikings, funny man, but he was very accurate in saying, just give me a running back. We'll do all right. 2nd and 12. Play action. Complete to Didier. And Didier slips. 3-yard pass play from Mikowski to Didier. Could have been for more, but Didier lost his footing.
Well, they're not giving him anything to throw the ball down the field. They're playing those loose coverages, and they're forcing Mikowski to take whatever they give him, whether it's dump the ball off to Woodside, as he's done a couple of times, or take the tight end over the middle.
Maybe as well, Snake, testing his patience. We'll see how patient Mikowski will be on 3rd down when we come back. Though, Snake.
Well, 13 this year, and he's never thrown more interceptions than he has touchdown passes in the course of the year. I don't think that'll happen this year, but he's off to a slower start by his standards. The absence of the tight end in their passing game, I think, has hurt him.
Big 3rd and 9 for the Pack. And Eric Kumaro prevents Mikowski from running for the first down.
In today's higher revving and hotter running engines.
51 remaining in the first half. Miami nursing a 1-point lead over the Packers. Don Bracken back to punt for the Packers. Troy Stratford back deep for the Dolphins. And because of the penalty flag against Reggie Roby, when he was knocked down, roughed up, this actually is the first punt of the game. And Bracken gets a good one into the wind. Not bad hang time considering into the wind. 4-2. 1:43 remaining in the first half when we come back. Dolphins on top. 1:43 remaining in the first half. And Dan Marino, although not having the kind of year he wants so far, certainly has done it over the long haul.
Well, it didn't take him very long to get there, JB, but he plays in a system, an offensive system that rides his right arm, and they have the lack of a running game, so they depend on him. So he's going to get the attempts, and I think records like that are all longevity and attempts.
And I talk about long haul, and Marino's only been in action in the NFL for 7 years, and very impressive numbers that he's racked up in that short period of time, especially considering the company. 1st and 10 from its own 10, Miami. Complete. And no, he dropped it incomplete. Boy, Freddie Banks would love to have that one back.
Well, they're throwing the ball on the outside an awful lot. I talked with Dan Marino at practice yesterday for a while, and he thought that they could get a lot of out routes on this team because they play that loose zone. The cornerbacks are going to give them a lot of room on the outside, and they're going to take it as they tried right there.
We'll bring up a 2nd and 10. Shuttle pass. Troy Stratford up close to the first down marker. And this will be close enough for a measurement. We saw that play work yesterday in college, Alabama.
You do see it an awful lot in college. It's designed to look like a sprint out. You see Marino sprinting out to his right. Then he does a little underhand shuttle pass, they call it, to Stratford coming underneath. It's blocked an awful lot like a draw play.
And this was good enough for the first down. And I tell you, I never saw anyone work it as well as Hollingsworth.
Hollingsworth at Alabama runs that play extremely well. And the reason that play will work well in any offense is you have to pass protect, and you have to have your running game has to be working well for you.
First and 10 from the 20. Complete. Freddie Banks wanted a second try. He got it. This one of the 60-yard variety.
Here he is at the top of your screen, and this just take off and go. And this is against a zone-type coverage. You should never get beat deep against a zone. But it looks like Mark Lee takes a peek in the backfield, gives Duper a chance to, Banks a chance to get behind him. Big play.
1:10 remaining. Ball at the 19 of Green Bay. And complete. This is Clayton. Flag on the play as Clayton is run out of bounds by Mark Murphy near the 15-yard line. And it looked like it may have been holding on that play.
Holding. Number 65 on the offense, still first down.
And Jeff Dellenbach, the guilty party.
I tell you, that's one thing that Dan Marino and this offense can give you, is they can struggle and they can struggle with the turnovers and things like that, but he can give you that big play in a hurry.
Quick strike ability.
I think every quarterback would like to play in the offense like Dan plays in right now, where you can just drop back and air it out and throw the ball an awful lot.
Extra DBs in for the Packers, Van Jakes and Tiger Green. Complete to Clayton. And Clayton picks up a bunch of the 20 yards needed.
Watch this safety right here. Try to get over and cut Clayton off as he comes into the middle. But Dan Marino holds the ball long enough for the outside guys to get in behind him. Right there. Nice throw. And, of course, Clayton can do something with it after he catches it.
15 yards of the 20 needed on that brings up a 2nd and 5. Dolphins at the 14 of Green Bay with 55 seconds remaining in the half. Nearly intercepted. Intended receiver was Jim Jensen. Covered well that time by John Anderson. So Marino really threw into trouble that time. Lucky.
Really. Dodges a real bullet there of throwing the ball into a crowd of people. That particular time, Green Bay rushed 4 people as opposed to 3. They're not getting the pressure. See, they're going to bring 4 guys after him this time. They had been rushing only 3 prior to that. They get a little bit more pressure and force Dan to make a bad decision.
And the ball actually hit John Anderson right in the chest. Makes it 3rd and 5. From the 14 of the pack. And the referee's whistle stops play. Delay of game, maybe.
30 seconds.
Delay for the offense. Still 3rd down.
Marino was trying to do a little house cleaning with the formation that time. And although the Dolphins are pushed back, if they can cover 60 yards as he did on the previous play, 65 won't hurt.
Doesn't matter where that guy is. Same look. Spread the field out.
4 wide outs, 3rd and 10. Incomplete. Intended receiver, Freddie Banks, that is, over to the right side of the line.
Well, that's that area we thought that Dan thought that they could do some business with was on the outside, both sides, against either cornerback, and that time he had something working. Got to come up with that one.
So Stoyanovich will come on, the rookie out of Indiana. Will attempt to give the Dolphins a little bit more of a pad. This will be a 36-yard field goal attempt by the rookie. High snap brought down by Seacuse. And it's good. So Stoyanovich pushes the Dolphins out in front by 4, leading at 10-6 with 41 seconds remaining.
Both teams moving the ball pretty well. Dan has hurt himself. Dan Marino, quarterback for Miami, has hurt himself with a couple of turnovers, one bad decision going in, and then, of course, the pass that Edmonds should have caught.
Stay tuned next week here on CBS Sports on Saturday specifically as college football continues with Pennsylvania. In Pennsylvania, where the Alabama Crimson Tide will do battle with Penn State. SEC leader Alabama had no trouble yesterday, of course, with Tennessee winning big 47-30. And Snake, you watched the game. What about Alabama?
Alabama's an exciting team. They're scoring an awful lot of points. They've got a really good little tailback in Saran Stacy, who ran for 200-something yards yesterday and 4 touchdowns, and an exciting young quarterback. Of course, there's Barry Krause, and Alabama's playing Penn State this coming weekend, and one thing I remember about him was the terrific goal line stand that Alabama had in the Sugar Bowl, 79 Sugar Bowl, and he stood up Gooman, the Penn State fullback, to stop him inside the 5.
And E.J. Jr., also an Alabama alum. And for the 3rd time this afternoon, the wind gets involved in the game.
Wind aided.
Last time, Don McNeil had to come over and hold the ball for Stoyanovich. Back deep for the pack, Vince Workman and Jeff Query. Workman to the near side. And number 4. We'll keep that stat as well.
Here comes the designated holder. There he is.
Don McNeil, also an Alabama alum.
All right, crew, let's go.
A lot of tide out there.
Watch it coming off this way. Lock 'em high, man. Lock 'em high.
And this is Workman from the end zone. Hit hard by Jim Jensen. Talk about a versatile player.
He shows up everywhere, special teams. He's caught a touchdown pass today, and of course you see him make the tackle there on the kickoff, blocked a punt earlier in the year, and like you said, very, very versatile.
And Ken, he's not a little guy, 6'4", 224. Paul Palmer had a 63-yard return in that game for the Cowboys against his old mates.
Payback.
On first down, Fontenot showing some fancy footwork up to the 20. 5-yard gain. Lindy Infante, kind of a homecoming of sorts for him, a native of Miami. Got his football coaching start here at Miami High School and took that squad to an undefeated first season, won the state and national championship.
Likes where his team is right now. They're last year at this time, I think maybe 1-5, and now here they are at 3-3 and only a game out of the Central Division behind Minnesota and Chicago, and so I think he's happy with the progress.
Coming up at halftime, Brent and Irv with all the scores, highlights, and, of course, the latest information. And Irv pieces together the ultimate quarterback, Robo quarterback. Kenny, I really hope that Irv uses a piece of you, maybe not so much your legs, your knee. That'll be coming your way at halftime. 2nd and 5. And Mikowski throwing in the direction of Sterling Sharp, incomplete.
Designed rollout play. Try to get the ball up and out of bounds. And if you complete that ball and get the ball up to around the 30-yard lines, and then you can start thinking maybe in terms of stopping the clock yourself and getting the ball up maybe for a possible field goal. But since it's incomplete, now you be very, very careful backed up in your own territory.
Mikowski runs, slides. Albeit a zone defense that the Dolphins are applying as Shula calls a timeout. The Dolphins have done the job defensively against a very dangerous receiver in Sterling Sharp, who has yet to catch a pass in the first half, Kenny.
Talk to their defensive people, Tom Oliver Doty, defensive coordinator, and I asked him about their passing game, Green Bay's, and he said that they're going to try to double Sterling Sharp in the nickel type situations, the 3rd and long situations, double Sharp, try to take him out of the game.
Providing relief and assistance. Should you care to help, may we suggest that you check your local newspaper for the appropriate support agency in your area. Don Shula in his 27th season as a head coach in the NFL, 20th with the Miami Dolphins. And Snake, he's been around for a while, and he's been steadily consistent.
I think he has to be pretty happy about his team's progress on the defensive side of the ball. They're getting more pressure on the quarterback than they have in the past. They seem to be running the ball on offense a little bit better. Marino is not playing up to his normal standards, but I think their team is a much improved team.
After not making the playoffs for the past few years, the players say he's actually a little looser this year, Don Shula. Pete Stoyanovich this time takes no chances with Mother Nature. The ball has been knocked off of the tee by the wind 4 times, so he's got Don McNeil there. McNeil getting a little airtime.
Right through the ball.
And this goes to Query. 4 yards back in the end zone. And the rookie from Millikan College takes it up to the 20. And Shula certainly ranks with some of the all-time greats.
Well, you look at that winning percentage, and, you know, he's done it year in and year out. He's done it with 3 different generations of quarterbacks, from John Unitas all the way down to Dan Marino now, and he seems to find ways to fit people into his program and win on a consistent basis.
And Kenny, that's pretty impressive considering the company. More than any other coach in professional sports, he's got the best winning percentage. And I always thought it was Red Auerbach. Herman Fontenot being led off the field, shaken up on that last kickoff. We'll get an injury report on him. Don Mikowski, Snake, you mentioned that he may need to do a little more to get his receivers untracked in the second half.
I think they've got to get their outside people involved. Sharp makes a lot of things happen. Perry Kemp, but neither one of those guys have been a factor so far in this game.
From its own 21, out of the eye, on first down. And Woodside driven back.
I think one of the ways that he can do that, what we're talking about, get those outside people involved, is they need to do it on the early downs. If they wait till third down, then what Miami's defense is doing is they're double teaming those outside guys, taking that stuff away from them, making them complete the short things underneath. Do it on the early downs. First down, second down.
Might that have a tendency to frustrate Mikowski?
A young quarterback, yes. Maybe that's part of his problems early in games, is getting frustrated.
2nd and 7. 3 wideouts. Full work. Wrapped up.
Well, Jackie Klein, University of Alabama, making the play, and as we said in the earlier part of the telecast, that you may lose a little pass rush when you replace a T.J. Turner, but you get a player that plays the run, as you see there, plays the run exceptionally well.
Herman Fontenot back in the game, apparently just shaking up a little bit on the kickoff. 3rd and 8. Thrown behind the intended receiver, Perry Kemp. So the Pack will have to punt this one away.
Well, that's what they need to do. They need to get the ball out to their outside receivers. And if they wait until third down, as they do there, they're not going to get Sterling Sharp involved because of the tight coverage they're playing. That's the idea. Let's do it on early downs.
Don Bracken, his first punt, as you saw, was 52 yards. This is Troy Stratford back for the Dolphins. And Bracken barely gets it away. Stratford does not fair catch this one and dropped in his tracks. A 45-yard punt by Don Bracken. So the Dolphins will take over. Ball marked at its own 31.
Well, Marinos, they're moving the ball. They're up and down, but they're between the 20s. They're going between the 20s. The first series of Dan gets down there. They get a touchdown out of it. The second series, they go down. He throws the interception. The third series, going the opposite way. Second quarter, another interception. They're good well between the 20s.
Logan and Stratford. Play action. Complete to the sidelines. Mark Duper. And from here, it looks to be good enough for the first down.
Well, as we said in the first half, they're going to take advantage of that zone that plays that loose. And watch the top up here, right there. That's where they're going to work. Anytime you can get Duper out there and giving him that much room. See, the corner just turns and runs because he was beaten deep earlier in the game. He just turns and runs. They play that soft, take the out.
Well, now the official nearest the ball had signaled the first down, but repositioned the ball now is about a foot shy. So we'll call it 2nd and short. Well, I think somebody up in the replay booth may have a different opinion on that. Cal Lepore, our replay official on site. Let me get involved here.
After review by the replay official, the play stands.
And I tell you, there was no time wasted on that one. Cal Lepore got to that one quickly.
Office of the day for Cal Lepore, making a good, snappy, crisp, quick decision.
And the communicator, Joe Brown, there with the sunshades, veteran of the league. Got things moving quickly. Quickly, that is. 2nd and 1, we'll call it. Clayton in motion. And Stratford wrapped up by Tim Harris. Snake, you played on a team full of, I'll diplomatically call them renegades, did a lot of talking. What do you think about it, Tim Harris? I mean, a lot of guys don't like it because he's incessant with the chatter.
Well, I think you take a player like Tim Harris, you know, you can't calm him down. He plays his best football when he gets emotional and gets involved in the game. I think there's limits to what you can do out there, but I haven't seen him. We covered them early in the year, and I haven't seen him do anything that would be detrimental to football. Other players don't like it, but he's a good player. He makes a lot of sacks. He gets them off of their game, and I wouldn't change a thing with him.
No different than a Dexter Manley, say.
Exactly.
And this one is going to be shy of the first down. Speaking of a Dexter Manley, the Washington Redskins held a players-only meeting recently, and one of the things they complained about was that the coaching staff was trying to tame them a little too much.
Can't put a bit in a racehorse's mouth.
3rd and short for the Dolphins from their own 40. Jensen in motion. Stratford doesn't look as if he made it from here. So the pack defense that was referred to as adequate by Miami players did the job on that play.
Well, I see Stratford being a little bit tentative here. This is short yardage. This is when it's the toughest. Watch him kind of tiptoe right there. Right here, he kind of stutters a little bit, kind of tiptoes a little bit. It's 3rd and a foot. You got to bang it up in there.
Ryan Noble in, leading the charge, and that's where Sammy Smith could be helpful.
Exactly, a big 230-pound guy that runs tough.
So Smith nursing a sore ankle. Reggie Roby in for officially his first punt, and not a very good one, but it takes a Miami roll. So Roby got a little help from the wind that time, pushing the pack back deep. Some of the reasons why Mikowski was slow starting in the first half versus the second, and it may not be all Mikowski.
Yeah, great second half numbers, but maybe it takes Coach Infante. Maybe, see, he's studying his numbers, his game plan right there. Maybe it takes him a while to make his adjustments.
Incomplete. Perry Kemp runs headlong into Hugh Green.
Well, you try to get your #1 receiver involved, and they have it with Sterling Sharp. Here we see him right here. Watch what they're doing. If they're pushing him around, knocking him off stride, breaking him off of his routes and things like that. You get a guy who is that exciting, that dangerous, you do whatever you can.
And on the other side, big Hugh Green, 6'2", 228. Upset Perry Kemp's route. 2nd and 10. Complete to Woodside. 4-yard pass play. And those are the kinds of passes that the Dolphins defense has been giving up, the short ones.
That's designed to do exactly that, to take away the outside speed, make him be patient. He's a young, inexperienced quarterback. Give him the short things, make him be very, very patient, make their offense go the length of the field without self-destructing via turnover or fumble.
May not be very pretty, but tactically very effective to play that.
Very, very sound, especially with a young team or a team that's not as talented as, say, a Minnesota Viking team.
3rd and 6. Incomplete. Sharp, the receiver. And might you have that kind of action taking place when you're not involved early?
Yes, you can. And you wind up, you get a guy like that, you want to get involved, you wind up forcing things, trying to force the ball to him. Here they try that. They're going to try to get him inside on a little hook route, but they got him man-to-man. That's what they want. He got to come up with the catch.
Bracken into punt for the Packers. Bunting for Troy Stratford at the 45. .39-yard punt, 38-yard return. There is a flag down on the play, a late flag. And boy, you hate to see that.
They're in the run back. Number 60, illegal block. 10 yards, first down.
Well, they catch backup linebacker. They catch Greg Clark. They get the type of team performance they want. Their defense holds them. Special teams gets them in field position, but then they get the penalty.
We're expecting at the top of the show.
Well, you know, you expect the ball to be in the air with these two quarterbacks, but I think what's happening is both defenses are forcing the other quarterbacks to just take the little things, and they're not giving the big play.
Dolphins 1st and 10 from the 47. Logan for the first down.
Well, they're in business now. Marino started out with his best field position all day via the punt. Zone 47, and then they get the good first down run, which they've been doing today, and that opens Marino's offense up. The problem Miami's offense has had has been inside or down around the 20-yard line. They've had the 2 turnovers, the 2 interceptions.
Mike Weddington replaces Jerry Boyarsky for the Packers. 1st and 10 from the 40 of Green Bay. Low pass intended for Mark Clayton. Incomplete. Officials say he picked it up off of the grass.
Well, Dan looks out there and he sees strong safety. Mark Murphy, number 37, lined up 4 or 5 yards off the ball. Automatically thinks strong side zone. Just take that little out route as they did in the first half. Not a very well thrown pass.
Kenny, there must be a war going on between the Raiders and the Eagles. No score in that ball game into the 3rd quarter.
No casualties. Not yet.
There will be with Art Shell coaching now. On 2nd down, Marino back to pass. Complete to Jensen. And Jensen, with the second effort, gets it up about 1.5 yards shy of the first down marker.
And JB, that just reiterates what we've been talking about. Watch what they force them to do. They force them into running, just taking the little short things. Roll the tape, and we'll see what we got right here. See Jensen coming out of the backfield. Marino looks downfield, looks downfield, looks downfield. Nothing there. Takes that little short one, second, third receiver. Defenses are forcing him to do that. Watch him look this way, look this way, look this way. Atta babe. Now go back over there. Defense making him do that.
Inside handoff on 3rd and 2 to Jensen, and Jensen gets the first down for the Dolphins. I think Marino's going to have quite a few teammates hanging over at his house after today's game. Hey,
well, you go play a little golf with your quarterback, you might catch some passes on Sunday.
1st and 10 for the Dolphins from the 28 of Green Bay. Logan picks his way ahead for maybe about 3. 8:39 remaining in the 3rd quarter. Miami on top, 10-6.
You know, I think they've tried one screen. Miami has tried one screen today, and it worked very, very well. I think they broke Troy Stratford for a long play in the first half. And against a team that zones as much as Miami and zones as much as the Green Bay Packers, screens have to come into play on early downs.
2nd and 7. Jensen and Stratford, the backs for the Dolphins. Marino, audibly. And it's complete to Stratford. And Stratford tries to stretch. Still about a yard shy of the necessary yardage for the first down. Stopped by Ron Pitts.
Well, it all starts with pass protection, but again, it's what they're forcing Marino to take. There's a good pass protection. Nice job of keeping Tim Harris out of there. So he just takes Troy Stratford on the numbers, working it down in there.
And also a good indication of how that offensive line has done the job over the last 18 games, not allowing a sack of the franchise play.
And I think Dan has an awful lot to do with that. Dan Marino realizes the pressure, gets rid of the ball extremely quick.
Logan and Davenport in at the backs for the Dolphins on 3rd and 1. And flags are thrown everywhere. Ron Davenport was the ball carrier. Davenport had been cut by the Dolphins, brought back, and Don Shula says he's been very impressed with his professionalism and effectiveness since he's been back.
False start. Right side of the offensive line. Still 3rd down.
Well, I guess he just implicates the whole side.
The whole gang's guilty. The whole right side. I think guys rather him say that than single out those numbers, though. Let's hide in a group of each other.
See, they never consulted the players on that before they changed, huh? So bring up a 3rd and 6 for Miami.
There's that right side. And a big one.
Jim Jensen, the lone back. Complete to Clayton. Touchdown, Miami.
Well, down in here you expect the man-to-man coverage, which they haven't been getting much of, but he gets it this time. And any time that you can get that guy right there, anytime you can get Clayton on number 24, Van Jakes, that's a matchup that you like. And that's the time that Marino's getting the coverage that he wants. And that's when you expect it. It's down around the 15, inside the 20-yard line, man-to-man.
And Stoyanovich makes it 17 Miami points. Now on top, 17-6. 4th place on the Dolphins' all-time touchdown list. Trailing now, Nat Moore.
Nat Moore, an exciting player in the Bob Greasy days. He caught an awful lot of passes, but that guy right there is an exciting player.
And Don McNeil getting a little more time on the knee, holding the ball for Stoyanovich. And a short one. Query at the 8. Gets it up near the 25-yard line. We talked at the top of the show about how the Packers are 0-5 against the Dolphins, but the Packers are not alone.
Well, you see the dominance they've had over the NFC, and of course you look at Don Shula's winning percentage. He's had pretty good luck against everybody he's coached again, but it's hard to say why. Maybe the unfamiliarity of this passing offense, not seeing it as much as some other AFC teams.
First and 10 from the 24. Play action. Complete to Sterling Sharp for the first down. And Kenny, you mentioned that has to happen more often.
Well, that's what we've been looking for. That's what we've been screaming for most of the day, is let's do that on the outside out there to a Sterling Sharp, but let's do it on the early downs. Here we got a first down play against William Judson, number 49, runs him off, comes back. That's what they've got to do, first downs.
A lot of respect for Sterling Sharp's speed that time by William Judson. Tom Olivadotti says Sharp's a bigger and faster Mark Duper. to Brent Forwood, and somehow the ball wasn't caught.
Hit him in a bad spot, in the hands. He runs everybody off and get him underneath, and with his running ability, you've got something working, but first rule, catch the ball.
Joe Robbie Stadium here in Miami, Florida. Today's inter-conference contest between the Miami Dolphins and the Green Bay Packers. Miami on top 17-6. James Brown along with Ken Stabler, and Dan Marino cut down on his mistakes in the second half, has the Dolphins out on top. On second down, Mikowski back to pass. Bannock.
Trying to get Ed West on the right of your screen, number 86. Trying to get Ed West underneath across. The 86 break, going across everything. He's got somebody right there. They get a hand on it, then it's everybody trying to make the rebound. Everybody going for the last biscuit, looks like.
And it looked like Jackie Klein got a hand on that one. Klein standing 6'5", 280. 3rd and 10. An appreciative Dolphins crowd, and specifically Rodney Thomas. Cheap suit coverage on Sterling Sharp. Troy Stratford back deep for the Dolphins. Don Bracken gets a low one. Ball is loose. Recovered by Stratford, still on his feet. Do you think the Green Bay coaching staff will say that one was drawn up by the Dolphins?
JB, here's the way you draw up a good punt return right here. Here's the way it's planned and drawn up. First thing you do is you fall down. That knocks them off course. Then you fumble the ball. It rolls out there. You pick it up. You pick up the wall. Get it up the field, just like you draw it up.
Logan and Davenport in at the backs for the Dolphins. Clayton in motion. This is Logan. Escapes one tackler, Blaze Winter, but doesn't escape Brian Noble.
Blaze Winter got good penetration then, knocked all the blocking situation off, destroyed the timing of the play, and then Brian Noble filling in.
Stratford and Jensen in at the backs. On 2nd and 9 for the Dolphins from their own 39. 4:36 remaining in the third.
A lot of people up there. They're going after it.
And the fans wanted a flag, and there it is, a late one. Johnny Holland looked to be riding somebody's back. Now, last time the City Boy and myself said that was an MC at a rodeo, and you had to correct me and say, no, JB, not an MC. Holland definitely doing a rodeo act, though. You take a look at the umpire. Talking upstairs with the replay booth, and the umpire is Bob Wagner. Lindy Infante kind of quiet over there on the sidelines. I don't think he would really argue with that one too much.
The call is defensive pass interference. We're asking the replay to check to see if the ball was tipped.
They get good pressure on Marino in the middle. Watch number 97 right in the middle of your screen. 91, Brian Noble. 97, Harris. They do a little twist, and then Harris gets on top of him with a good pressure. And Noble, there's the interference. It's hard to tell from there. I don't think the ball was tipped. Debbie?
I don't think so. And I think the
another look. The pressure. No, no tip.
Defensive pass interference. Spotted the flag. First down.
well, they sorted it out.
Watch Marino get rid of the ball when he feels that pressure. He has as much to do with an 18-game non-sack streak as the offensive line does.
I'll tell you one thing, we've got a very efficient replay booth on site here too.
Short and sweet.
1st and 10 from the 45, the Dolphins. Double reverse, Clayton. First down.
Clayton's going to come from the bottom of your screen. Another thing that you can do when you get the ball out around midfield, well, you can do a lot of things. There's the handoff to Stratford, who in turn hands off to Clayton on the reverse. Then you've got those quarterbacks who are all great blockers. They get out in front, give you a block, first down.
Ball at the 44 of Green Bay. 3:40 remaining in the third. Miami on top, 17-6. Logan. A brief bit of daylight for a 4-yard run, stopped by Tim Harris. And it looks like Mark Logan still down on the grass for the Dolphins. And that certainly isn't a good sign for Don Shula, who already has his top running back, Sammy Smith, on the sidelines nursing a bad ankle. Next Saturday, CBS Sports college football coverage continues as we travel to State College, Pennsylvania, where the Alabama Crimson Tide will battle the Penn State Nittany Lions. Alabama coming off an impressive victory yesterday over Tennessee, 47-30. And a lot of heroes down there. Good birthday present for Coach Bill Curry.
Bill Curry celebrating his 47th birthday. They score 47 points for him, but they've got their work cut out this week. Anytime you have to go to College Station and face a Joe Paterno team, it won't be easy.
No secret that Bill Curry has been operating under a lot of pressure down there in Alabama, where you're expected to win big. Do you think some of that pressure has been relieved with the kind of success that Bill Curry has been having thus far?
I think a little of it has been maybe quieting some with being undefeated. Good wins over Tennessee and scoring an awful lot of points against Ole Miss. They scored 62 points against Ole Miss. I think the pressure's still there, as it is in all programs, but maybe not as evident with their winning situation now.
So that's all over now, huh? That was last week.
Yeah, that one's behind you. Now, what have you done for me lately?
As we take a look at Mark Logan limping gingerly on that left leg of his. I wonder if we'll see Sammy Smith coming into the game, who, of course, hurt his ankle, and he's loosening up on the sidelines. Sammy Smith, that is.
Logan's been a really good player for this team this year. He's done it well on special teams. He's carried the ball out of the backfield. He's caught the ball, and he's really filled in and done well here.
And the crowd knows it and shows it. A man who would not have made the team but for his special teams work, and has done the job as a fullback. Third-year player out of Kentucky. It'll be a 2nd and 6 situation for the Dolphins. Ball marked at the 40 of Green Bay. Jim Jensen and Troy Stratford, the backs. complete to Stratford. And he's got the yardage for the first down. An 8-yard pass play from Marino to Stratford.
You always have to find Tim Harris, no matter where he lines up. The Miami Dolphins always treat him like a defensive lineman, although he's a linebacker. Make sure you get a big offensive lineman blocking him, not a back. As you see, 65, Dellenbeck doing a good job of keeping him out.
Well, if there's any way to limit his talking on the field, Tim Harris is to do that. First and 10 from the 32. 2:17 remaining in the third quarter. Dolphins on top, 17-6. Marino throwing in the direction of Mark Clayton. Incomplete. Marino shakes his head knowing that was his fault.
Dan's just not throwing the ball as consistently as he has in the past. You watch those out routes. That's the second one that I've seen him throw low today, and that's not Dan Marino. He's just not quite in the rhythm, although he came back to camp this year lighter than he has in the past, and great arm. Not in quite the rhythm he would like to be.
And holds himself responsible for 2 of the Dolphins' losses.
A lot of people up there.
This one is complete to Clayton on second down. Dave Brown, the 15-year veteran, on the tackle.
Well, you don't know if Dan audible is. It looked like he was going to audible when he saw everybody up there. You take that little quick thing, and the ball has to be released extremely quick when they do blitz you. He's going to get the blitz. That's why he went to the audible. Here they come. Short and sweet, real crisp little slant. Third, fourth time they've hit that play today.
And the Dolphins will be shy of the first down yardage by 1 yard. Will bring up a 3rd and 1. Ball at the 23 of Green Bay.
Those are situations where your outside receivers have to realize it's blitz also and break things off a little quicker than normal.
And Marino, not liking what he's seeing, calls a timeout with 1:27 remaining in the third quarter.
Situation where they all work together. It wasn't as cohesive last year as it is this year with David Shula, and now Dan's a little bit more comfortable with this situation. He's always had a great deal of input into the offense, but he's much more comfortable with that guy right there.
The gentleman with the headsets.
And Gary Stevens will tell you that he's going through a learning process right now, adapting what he knows to this Miami system.
And the report from the field on Mark Logan, a twisted left knee, doubtful for the rest of the game. And he's being tended to over there. Third and 1 for the Dolphins. Ball marked at the 23 of the Packers. Stratford in motion. Play action. Complete for the first down to Brian Kinchin, the second-year player out of LSU.
Marino's going to reverse out, fake to the fullback. They're going to get their tight end right in here, and the back right out in the flat. Dan picks the tight end. I think he makes an excellent throw here. The ball is not out in front of the tight end, but it's in an area where he can catch it, and it's away. It's away from the defense, the defenders. Nice throw, nice call.
John Anderson a little slow in reacting on that play. Result, first down and 10. Ball at the 11 of Green Bay. Complete. Down near the 5, and that was Farrell Edmonds. So Edmonds looked that one in.
Well, Edmonds is going to run a short out. It's the same slant thing by Clayton on the outside. Dan takes a look inside, doesn't have anything with Clayton. Throws the ball outside to Edmonds. That guy needs to get more involved in the offense, come up with the plays, and it sure would help the outside people. It would help Dan's numbers also.
Work him. On second down, Stratford inside the 5.
McDonald's. And by Miller Genuine Draft. Cold filtered for real draft taste. So tap into the cold.
Start of the fourth quarter here in Miami. 17-6, Miami on top. Marino starting to heat up.
He is starting to heat up, JB. He's starting to get in that rhythm. And he's He's already thrown for 260 yards. Their defense is also playing well. They've held Green Bay to only 130-something yards.
3rd and 3 from the 4 of Green Bay. Marino with time.
He threw that one away.
Smart play.
Threw it away.
Way over the head of Mark Clayton, who was being covered by Mark Murphy.
Same play that Jensen scored on earlier. And Dan takes a look over that side. It's all clogged up. A lot of people over there. Looks back to his right. Nothing there. And do the smart thing that an experienced quarterback will do. Throw it away and protect your field goal.
Play took too long to develop.
Too long to develop and give Green Bay credit for some good coverage.
Well, that would bring on Pete Stoyanovich. The holder is Scott Seacuse, who incidentally was a backup to Don Mikowski in college. A 21-yard field goal attempt by Stoyanovich. And it's good. So the rookie from Indiana with a big foot in the action this afternoon, pushing the Dolphins out in front by 14 points, 2 touchdowns. Now keep in mind, Mikowski, if he can ever uncork, is an explosive quarterback, and that's not a lot to make up.
It's really not a lot to make up. You need 2 scores, and based on his past record, he comes out smoking late in games. Had a couple of big come-from-behind victories this season, and he's certainly capable.
Well, we were there in Green Bay when they played the New Orleans Saints and came from way back and won that one 35-34.
Had 18 straight completions in that game to tie Lynn Dickey record in Green Bay.
Well, he's going to need one of those Lynn Dickey type of performances here.
Team talking to Sterling Sharp, and those two have to hook up.
The Jets came in here looking for big plays. Now you see them over there all huddled together, looking for big plays. They get a chance to get when there's nobody around Burkett. Panic, can't bring the ball down, and he feels.
And back deep for the Packers, Jeff Query and Vince Workman. Workman will take it at the 4. Flag on the play as Workman is dropped inside the 20 at about the 18-yard line by Jim Jensen, and Jensen just plays everywhere.
I think if you're the Green Bay Packers right now, JB, you just throw caution to the wind. You're down by 2 scores, and I think you have to start.
Run back. Number 35 of the receivers, half the distance to the goal, first down.
I think you have to make something happen. You have to start throwing the ball down the field and not take all those small things, but try to make something happen by throwing the ball down the field. If you're the Miami Dolphins, I don't think you change anything. That conservative zone defense has held them in check most of the day.
Philadelphia finally on the scoreboard in that Raiders contest, leading 10-0 there. Forward for a couple. Ryan Soche stops him after a 2-yard gain. Soche kind of typical of the Raiders of your day.
Yeah, kind of a character in himself, real tough guy, likes to have a lot of fun and plays reckless as he can in the middle in there, and you bet, Raider-type football player.
Tells a good story about the PR director, Harvey Green. Pushed him in the swimming pool.
Yeah, said you look like you need to get wet. Splash.
Walking and minding his own business. 2nd and 8 from the 12. Complete to Sharp. Forward progress may be marked at the 15. Gain of 3.
Again, they're forcing them to take those little small things in the front, the little short things. It's not gaining any big yardage. It's not working on the clock for them by any means. There's Sharp coming across the middle. Those linebackers drop to their hook zones, come up and make the play. Still third and 3 or 4 yards. Good zone defense.
Lifford Hobley, Don McNeil, Rodney Thomas in for the dime defensive package for the Dolphins. Complete to Sharp. And Sharp with the first down, so Mikowski scrambling for his life finds Sterling Sharp, wrapped up by Rodney Thomas.
Well, that's what Mikowski can give you, is the ability to move around back there and buy some time, and with that great athletic ability that he has. And you get Sharp heated up, you get Mikowski heated up. That's what they've done this year, is bring them from behind.
First and 10 from the 23. 12:33 remaining in the fourth quarter. Play action. Complete to Woodside for yet another first down. So Don Mikowski doing what Snake has been indicating all along needs to be done, working it effectively.
Working effectively on the outside. On the outside where they're playing a little bit soft, especially on Judson's side. Take those outs out there. Work whoever you can put over there. That time, Vince Workman on the outside, a running back with receiver skills.
First and 10 from the 40. Brent Forwood, the lone back. Complete to Kemp for another first down. So Don Mikowski marching the Packers upfield, now in Miami territory.
Right on the inside there. It's a little hook area right over the middle against that zone. You have to have good pass protection. See how long he has to hold the ball. Gives him time to get in past those linebackers. Good throw. He's got him on the go.
So an offensive line that had yielded 8 sacks to the Minnesota Vikings last week, doing a great job of protecting Mikowski. First and 10, ball at the 40 of the Dolphins. Incomplete, intended receiver Keith Woodside.
Well, it all starts with pass protection. That time, a little bit of pressure forced him to throw the ball a little before he would like to, and an awful lot of times that serves better than a sack. Just force him to throw the ball away and still have the long yardage situations.
And Green Bay with its deepest penetration since the second quarter. Ball marked at the 40 of Miami. Second and 10 out of the eye. Intended receiver was Brent Forwood, who seemed to have gotten his own feet crossed up that time.
And they're not giving him anything. That zone coverage is working so well that they're taking those outside guys away. He's getting the good pass protection that he wants, but he's sitting back there looking, nothing there, having to think the short thing or throw the ball away.
Well, certainly the football purist ought to be able to appreciate that, although not the aerial display we were expecting at the top because of the matchup on paper. Rodney Thomas, Lifford Hobley, dime defensive package in for the Dolphins. And it's complete. So the Packers have another first down as Don Mikowski continues the march, this time finding Sterling Sharp.
Sterling Sharp in the slot right there, going to go down and do the little hook route right there. Good against the, you didn't see the drop. There's the cornerback's drop, the 5th defensive back's drop. He settles down right in there. There are zones in there called hook zones and passing lanes. Passing lanes are the lanes between the defensive linemen where you can throw the ball through those lanes, and those hook zones are where you sit down in the middle of those linebackers in there.
Clock running, 10:47 remaining in the contest. Mikowski going up top, looking for Fontenot, overthrown. E.J. Jr., the 9th-year veteran out of Alabama, on the coverage.
Well, you look out here, and there's Fontenot, there's E.J. Jr., and anytime you can get the running back on a linebacker, then that's what you want. That's why he's giving him so much room. E.J. Jr. doing a nice job of running with him, ball a little overthrown.
E.J. 6'3", 242, doing a good job of keeping up that time. Second and 10. Fontenot to the near side. intercepted off the fingertips of Sterling Sharp. William Judson, the right corner there.
Ball should have been called, but in defense of the receiver, when you're throwing the ball down here for a quarterback, you need to stick that ball right in the numbers. It's a short, easy throw to make. Stick it right down around the waist or in the numbers so that the ball doesn't get tipped up and get the turnover.
And Judson wishes he could have that one again down near the shoestrings. 3rd and 10. Comes away very fortunate, as that one was right in the hands of Lewis Oliver, the rookie out of Florida. Well, the B-2 bomber might have wished he was a C-5A carrier, a big one to bring that one in.
Mikowski trying to throw on the run. You got to be careful running away, running to his right, throwing back across the field. Awfully dangerous. He overthrows it, and there's always going to be a center fielder in there.
So the Packers, with 10:28 remaining in the contest, trailing by 2 touchdowns, decide to go for it on 4th and 10. Incomplete.
Jeff Cross, number 91, he's been doing it all year for him, getting heat on him. There he is right there, making Mikowski throw the ball before he would like to. Good pass rush.
Much more consistent and effective in the second half. Packers only 66 second half yards. That explains a 20-6 Miami lead.
Well, Marino's starting to heat up, you know, taking the things that they were giving him. He's getting a good pass protection to the other side of the ball. You take that defense that's played better all year, JB. That the front of Cross and Soche and Turner and those people have put pressure on the quarterback all year long. There's a good example of it. And those veteran linebackers bringing communication to that group.
Give those Graybeards some credit. They can still play. 1st and 10 for the Dolphins from their own 25. Marino audibling at the line. Going up top. Incomplete. The intended receiver was Mark Clayton. Ron Pitts, step-for-step coverage.
Well, you can bet Miami's not the type of team that will, say, sit on a 14-point lead. Here they get the ball on their own 24-yard line. Marino comes out smoking with it. And I think that's a nice style of play, especially on 1st down. I would like to see Green Bay do a little bit more of that during the course of the game.
2nd and 10. 10:17 remaining in the contest. Stratford. Four-yard run to the right side of the line between Harry Galbraith and Ronnie Lee. Well, Herschel Walker is paying big dividends up in Minnesota. Some of the guys may not be too upset with him being given a free house and a free use of a Mercedes that they can head on into the Super Bowl. They all benefit. 3rd and 6. Ought to make it interesting between Minnesota and Chicago as well. Overthrows the intended receiver, Mark Duper. And Marino says, it was there.
As we said, I don't think Dan is really in the rhythm that he has been in the past. You know, a lot of times a guy that open against that, Dan will lay that ball in there. And he just doesn't seem to have the rhythm that he normally plays with. The protection and everything that he gets is fine. If you watch it right here, there's nobody around him. Turns it loose and overthrows it.
And Duper right there. Had his man beat comfortably. Reggie Roby into punt. Low snap. Gets away a low kick. Query. Run out of bounds just shy of midfield. So Green Bay will have it after that 13-yard return when we come back.
Get down on one knee and ask them. You just hire a plane and get a big sign and plaster it across the sky.
Bob doesn't have his last name, though, does he, in case he says no? 56,000 on hand. Average of 59,000. 10 games here at Joe Robbie Stadium. Mikowski to Fontenot.
Now's the time. Sorry. Now's the time for Green Bay.
Vinny Testaverde trying to rally the Bucks up in Washington. Let's go to New York and Brent.
Hey, James, Sherry says she's busy watching the Buccaneers rally. She doesn't have time to get married. Vinny Testaverde to Hill for the touchdown. They have closed to within 8. They've scored twice within 22 seconds. Back to James.
All right, Brent, we certainly want to say welcome back also to Bob Fishman, our director, who's up there in Washington directing that game. Good to have him back as Mikowski is wrapped up for the first time today. Hugh Green. And that sack ties Miami's sacks for all of last year.
Well, Hugh Green now playing the way that Don Shula expected him to play when he came 3-4 years ago from Tampa Bay, and is now getting the pressure, the best pass rusher of the linebacking core, and that's what they look for out of him.
In this, the 7th game, Miami has reached a total that they did all of last year with 24 sacks, and the clock is running. 3rd and 9. Mikowski decides to run it. Well shy of the first down. And of course, Lindy Infante with no other choice but to go for it on 4th down. Complete to Kemp for the first down. So Mikowski, with excellent protection that time, finds Commodore Perry Kemp.
Well, big 4th down play. Coach Infante gets a little underneath thing to Perry Kemp. Not much emotion out of him. What's next? Let's get up a first down play now, guys.
The emotion would come with the touchdown, of course. They need 2 to tie. Fontenot and Forwood, the backs. On 1st down, this is Fontenot. And Fontenot with about a 7-yard run on that swing pass will bring up a 2nd and 3 for the Packers. 6:44 remaining in the contest. Green Bay trails 20-6.
And the type of defense that Miami's playing, as they played all day, really works well for them, especially with the clock situation being what it is with only 6 minutes left. They're going to give them those things.
The big hand is for John Offerdahl, the inside linebacker, who held out for 81 days before finally signing a contract. Practice this week and he's in the game. Haddix, the ball carrier. And Haddix picks up the first down for Green Bay as the clock continues to run. John Offerdahl had 1 year remaining on his contract, wanted to renegotiate, did not get the numbers he was looking for from Miami, held out for 81 days, was fined for all of the time he missed in camp, is under a prorated contract. His contract was to call for $500,000. He'll net somewhere between $225 and $270 as a result. But he will be a free agent.
He paid more fines than I made.
Mikowski going up top, looking for Sharp. Incomplete. William Judson, step for step.
Down at the bottom, trying to make something happen, trying to get in there in a hurry. They need 2 scores. And nice job of number 49, Judson, the cornerback, running step for step with Sterling Sharp, and nothing there.
And no interference because they both were looking for the ball that time. Liberalized coverage rules.
I think so. I think that's the reason his scoring is probably up, and it's come down to a passing game, but the quarterback's throwing for an awful lot of yardage almost everywhere.
On 2nd and 10. Play action. Touchdown, Sterling Sharp, Green Bay. So the Magic Man finally finds Sterling Sharp. And Lindy Infante with a big...
Well, you can't stay with him forever, no matter what the situation is, and this is the case here. This is what makes it happen for Mikowski. He's dancing around, buying all that time, and you can't expect your defensive backs to stay with a guy like Sterling Sharp for that amount of time.
And throws a rope on the run. Chris Jackie with the point after, and it's good. So Green Bay moves within a touchdown of tying the Dolphins with 5:54 remaining in the contest. Downs on the year.
Well, 13 touchdowns on the year, and making a lot of them happen on his own. The last one there certainly made that play by moving around and buying the time.
Chris Jackie pushes Stratford back into the end zone, and he wisely decides to down it and to bring it out to the 20. Stay tuned to CBS tonight as we present this exciting Sunday lineup. 60 Minutes. When they arrested Joyce Ann Brown for murder, did they get the wrong woman? You decide. That'll be coming your way tonight on 60 Minutes. Then Murder, She Wrote, and the CBS Sunday movie, Do You Know the Muffin Man, starring Pam Dauber, John Shea, Anthony Geary, and many, many more. All that coming your way tonight on CBS. Right now, we've got a good contest going here in Miami. 1st and 10 from its own 20. Staying on the ground, and no room. Troy Stratford trying to find some daylight. And right now, Miami wants to do the best job possible to run that clock out. 5:34 remaining in the contest.
Plenty of time left for Green Bay. They had to stop him here, force the punt, get the good field position out of it, and do what they do best, come from behind late in games.
And Green Bay calls a timeout, recognizing that the clock needs to work for them. Lindy Infante has done a great job of really endearing himself to the Green Bay community. They absolutely love him up there, and he did that last year when the team was only 2-14.
Right there you see Dan Marino, and a lot of times when you come off in a situation like this, one of the things that you will talk about is whether or not to throw the football. If you throw the football back up in your own territory, you risk the turnover, or do you run the ball, which you don't have as good a chance probably in this offense to get the first down. So I think the question to answer over there on the sidelines is, do we throw it or not?
And Troy Stratford a little nicked up. Ron Davenport, a healthy back, along with Jim Jensen. Sammy Smith is on the sidelines with a badly nicked ankle. Jensen in with Stratford on this 2nd and 10 play for the Dolphins. Complete to Jensen. And Jensen up near the 28. A couple of yards shy of the first down marker as Jensen is slow to get up. Brian Noble applying the hit as Jensen holds that right hip of his. Brings up a 3rd and 1 for the Dolphins. 5 minutes remaining in the contest. First down yardage and more. The man we talked about before, who was cut earlier this year and brought back, Ron Davenport, 5th-year player out of Louisville.
Man-on-man blocking up front, nothing fancy. Just plain straight ahead blocking. They pull the left guard to so that he can cut back behind him. Right there, he gets off his block for the first down.
Ronnie Lee and Farrell Edmonds helping in on the blocking on that play as Jim Jensen runs off the field. Stratford and Davenport, the backs. 1st and 10 from the 32. Miami leading it 20-13. Stratford pushing his way forward for a 2 to 3 yard gain. Call it 2.
This is where Miami has been really good, JB. It's the fact that they get ahead in a ball game. You have to be able to control the football. Puts an awful lot of pressure on your offensive lineman to be able to control it, whether it be pass protection or running. They were very successful against Cincinnati last week of running out the clock once they got the lead. And as you see here, they picked up their first down and doing well at it here.
3:35 and counting. 2nd and 7.
The idea for the quarterback here is to get the game down to the 2-minute warning.
Marino out of the shotgun. Complete to Jensen. Will be short of the first down, but not by much. Johnny Holland on the stop.
Right there is Jensen right in front of the linebackers against the coverage they've been getting all day, those zone-type coverages. Marino drops back, gives first look downfield. Downfield, has nothing, and then work on the linebacker.
And this one will be close enough for a measurement. Boy, it really does pay to be inside that quarterback's head, as Jim Jensen obviously is, as well as Marino inside of Jensen's head.
They spend so much time together off the field, talking shop, and Jensen has a quarterback's mentality. He understands what he wants. He knows when to stop and everything that he does, and he does it knowing that that's what Dan wants.
3rd and inches for the Dolphins, and it appears as if they're going to go for it. 2 tight ends in for the Dolphins, Farrell Edmonds and Brian Kitchen.
Had success the last set of downs coming to the right side behind Ronnie Lee and Galbraith, Farrell Edmonds, number 80.
Stratford has it. So on a 3rd and inches, good blocking by Jeff Ulenik and Harry Galbraith, and the Dolphins keep the drive alive. And Green Bay burns off one more timeout, leaving them with 1. Kenny, one of the reasons that the Dolphins have not had that effective a running game is quite simply because they haven't really emphasized it, and that offensive line hasn't gotten accustomed to run blocking.
That's exactly right. What they emphasize, of course, is Marino's arm in throwing the football, so consequently at practice, most of the reps are going to be dropping back pass protection. You don't work on the running game as much.
CBS coverage of the National Football League starts next Sunday at 12:30 Eastern with the NFL Today. Then some of you will see the Detroit Lions taking on the Green Bay Packers, while others will see the LA Rams against the Chicago Bears. CBS doubleheader coverage continues with an exciting interconference game. This one, the Philadelphia Eagles with Randall Cunningham doing battle with the Denver Broncos and John Elway. That'll be next Sunday right here on CBS. First and 10 from its own 43. 2:42 remaining in the contest. Stratford with room. Loses the ball. And that one was caused strictly because of the pain on the right knee of Troy Stratford. As soon as he was hit on that knee before he hit the ground, Snake, he let that ball go.
Yeah, you could tell that he was in pain when he made the cut, and then the ball, he just let the ball go. It looks like it might be a knee injury.
Well, a break for Green Bay in that they recover the ball, but Troy Stratford perhaps run one time too many today as he coughs up the ball on the turn, on the hit.
JB, I'm not sure he was even hit. If you look at this, it looked like he may have planted to try to make a cut. Here he gets the handoff, following Harry Galbraith, the guard, and watch when he cuts right here. He's gonna stop right in here, right in here. It looks like right there on that cut that he just lets the ball go, and he's in some pain. He goes right for his right knee.
And you can tell there was no grip in that right hand on the ball that time. So Troy Stratford, the third-year running back out of Boston College, 5'9", 192. Really excited that Coach Shula was going to focus on the running game, albeit with the arrival of Sammy Smith. Felt that he could really do a job for them, and he's down with a knee injury.
Well, here's where that young man has been the best this year, is coming from behind. He got him in there with a quick one on a scramble-type play to Sharp earlier for the touchdown. It brought him within 7, and then they get the turnover, the ball at midfield, good field position, and here's where he can do it again.
Well, the Packers with the ball at midfield and plenty of time. 2:33 in the contest. Trailing by a touchdown. Complete. Inside the 45 to Michael Haddix.
Don Mikowski trying to go down the field with the football. The pressure forces him up in the pocket, smartly dumps the ball off.
A touchdown will tie it, and this is where some quarterbacks and coaches wish they had the two-point conversion rule in place. And it's complete for the first down to Sterling Sharp. One touchdown will tie it. It was an injury that actually created a turnover for Miami. Green Bay has the ball. What do you see Green Bay needing to do, and Miami conversely on defense?
Defensively, Miami, I think they're going to have to tighten up. They've been playing them zone, and as a result, they're hitting them with those little things like they've been doing to Sharp. If you're on the other side of the ball, Green Bay, you have to find a way to get the ball to the outside people, I think.
Complete to Perry Kemp. Somehow, Mikowski drilled the ball in as Kemp was surrounded by white shirts. First down for the Pack.
He only has one timeout left. A lot of times you might want to save that timeout for your field goal team.
Mikowski dropped.
Here, of course, they don't need the field goal. You would use that timeout very, very late, running out of time, just to stop it to get off another play.
Give the credit to John Bosa, third-year player out of Boston College.
And that's what they've done all year long. They've played much, much better down in the front. Those guys in the front, you take Sauché, and T.J. Turner was playing real well prior to his injury, and of course Jeff Cross is leading the team in sacks. And you talk to their defensive coordinator, Oliver Doty. You talk to him. They're not doing anything special to make those guys play better, just lining up, and they're getting better effort out of them.
So the Green Bay Packers burn off their last timeout as you take a look at the gentleman you were talking about.
Had a nice conversation with him yesterday, and he said this team plays well as a team of players. No standouts, no names. They've got a group of linebackers that are all 30 years or older, unknowns down front, and some problems on the corners. But yet they're playing better than they have in the past, and 3-3 and ahead here.
Well, as the scores ran by on the CBS Sports Wire, we saw that Art Shell suffered his first loss as a head coach of the Raiders, 10-7 to the Philadelphia Eagles. Must have been a real defensive war out there.
Anytime you get those two teams together, a Buddy Ryan coach team, and you know how nasty they can be. And of course, the Raiders have always had that reputation of being a little nasty. That's got to be a tough one.
Packers trying to be nasty here on second down. Overthrows the intended receiver, Herman Fontenot. Will bring up a 3rd and 12 for Don Mikowski and the Green Bay Packers.
Well, they slipped Brent Fullwood. You see him coming out of the backfield to Mikowski's right. They're trying to get him matched up. Not a very well thrown ball. The ball flutters, hangs up in the air and luckily overthrown.
Complete to Kemp for the first down. The clock will run as Green Bay has no timeouts left. Ball at the 15 of Miami. Incomplete, in and out of the hands of Carl Bland, but there are flags thrown everywhere. And this will go against Miami with 58 seconds remaining. A big penalty call against the Dolphins. And the Packers will get that much closer to pay dirt. And Carl Bland looked like he was just a little too tentative, trying to look that one in almost a little too much.
Knew the ball was coming to him, and a lot of times you get so tentative and you tense up instead of playing relaxed.
Holding by the defense, 5 yards, first down.
Well, Red Cashin spared some embarrassment to whomever. Ball will be marked at the 10. First and goal for the Packers with 58 seconds remaining. Mikowski's been here before.
They have a quarterback draw also.
Touchdown, Green Bay, Sterling Sharp. Sterling Sharp with his second touchdown reception of the afternoon from Don Mikowski. 14 touchdowns on the year for Mikowski. Chris Jackie will attempt to tie it up. And he does. So Green Bay capitalizes on a Troy Stratford fumble and marches downfield to tie the game up with 53 seconds.
Sterling Sharp's going to find an area right back in the back of the end zone. You move around back there and get in those hook lanes, the passing lines. There it is right there, right in the middle. You can't ask for it any better than that right there. He's getting the ball to his outside people in the second half, something he didn't do in the first half. As a result, here they are.
Well, just as you saw Don Mikowski march his team downfield, you certainly know that with a Dan Marino at quarterback, 53 seconds is a lot of time to march downfield.
53 seconds is an awful long time, I guess, with a team that throws the ball as well as they do. And you can bet that Don Shula on the sidelines was talking to Marino even before Green Bay scores, saying, listen, if they do score, here's what I think we need to do.
And keep in mind that Miami has 2 timeouts remaining.
Well, it's going to happen right in front of you here if you're playing safety. You know, he gets the good pass protection, nobody around him. Sharp finds a spot in the back of the end zone for the touchdown.
So with Troy Stratford out because of the injury, Jarvis Williams will replace him on this kickoff. Back deep with Ron Davenport. Davenport to the top of the screen. And Davenport takes it at the 13 and gets up across the 30-yard line. So Miami will have 48 seconds and 2 timeouts to see what they can do. And the 50,000 plus on hand, 56,000 to be exact, have a ball game before them. James Brown along with Ken Stabler, a 20-20 ball game, and the way you size the game up to this point.
Well, you know, earlier in the game, the first part of the game, the first half, I thought it was defense, the zones, making the offense do what they want. Low-scoring affair, but then as Green Bay has done all year, come out the second half, make those adjustments, come from behind, getting the ball to the outside people.
Packers with 6 defensive backs in. 1st and 10 from the 31. And a flag is thrown on the play. And it's complete to Mark Clayton, but the play was stopped by the officials.
False start. Right guard on the offense. Still 1st down.
First and 15. A 1st down for the Dolphins, complete to Freddie Banks. .37 seconds left, 1 timeout remaining for the Dolphins. And this is also where you will see the master, Don Shula, who's been in a number of these contests, operate.
Been in an awful lot of them, and you get Dan Marino, who's also been there. And as we said, going into this last series of downs, that a team that throws the ball as well as Miami does, 53 seconds at that time was an awful lot of time. 37 seconds is still a lot of time. You have a lot of different plays that you use in this situation. It's part of all of your offense. Dan Marino comes over the sidelines, talks with Don Shula, and you got certain players that you want to try to match up. Say, look, if we get a matchup with this guy on this guy, let's go there. If not, we go to this other part. That particular time, they worked on Tiger Green, a matchup that they've used earlier in the game. Miami with over 400 yards of offense today, and they can roll it up in a hurry.
And very steady yards, consistent yards by Marino. 114 in the 1st, 114 in the 2nd, 116 in the 3rd quarter. Complete for the 1st down to the 30 of Green Bay. Mark Clayton. So take a look at Pete Stoyanovich. His longest field goal completed this year is 43 yards. Now, as a pro, he is 6 of 8 from 50 yards plus. And he's warming up on the sidelines.
Well, from right here, JB, from the 30-yard line with the 10 yards in the end zone, you spot the ball 7.5 yards from the snap, and you're looking at 47.5 yard field goal right here.
And again, keep in mind, a 12 to 15 mile per hour wind he will be kicking into.
They'll play to get closer with something safe.
Complete to Clayton. Inside the 20 for yet another 1st down by Miami.
Good, safe, short pass on the outside. Work the ball down in there to give your field goal kicker a shorter kick.
And Stoyanovich will attempt the winning field goal for Miami. .5'10" rookie out of Indiana. And it's good, a 33-yard field goal by Pete Stoyanovich.
Everything's perfect, along with the hold and the kick, the snap. Snap's right on target. Good hold. There's a reaction.
And the holder, Scott Seekewers, the backup quarterback, was a backup to Don Mikowski at the University of Virginia.
And that's something that the center, the holder, and the kicker will stay out after practice, every day after practice, and work on just that timing from the snap, the placement, putting the ball down the way the kicker wants it. It's a team situation for those three guys.
And don't forget, coming up at the conclusion of this game, the NFL Today post-game show with Brent and Irv with scores and highlights from around the league. They'll get you caught up on all the day's action. That'll be coming up at the conclusion of this contest here. So the Miami Dolphins, with only 6 seconds remaining to keep their streak intact of knocking off the Green Bay Packers. 5-0 coming into today's contest. And the Packers will be looking for some kind of a miracle return by either Vince Workman or Jeff Query.
You speak of return, JB. A lot of times a team like Miami right now in this situation won't kick the ball the length of the field. They won't kick the ball down there and risk a kickoff return for a touchdown. He may kick a line drive right down through the middle of everybody, destroys all the blocking combinations and the timing of the return to avoid a big kickoff return.
That's experience talking.
Now that I come out with all that, he'll probably kick it right through the uprights.
Number 5 with the wind knocking the ball off the tee. Don McNeil forgot his assignment. Lindy Infante perhaps making his guys aware of that which you just said. Stay alert.
There it is, right down the pipe.
And Workman loses the handle on the ball. And the clock runs out on Green Bay as they continue to lateral the ball. But the official said no, the ball was dead. The clock runs out and the game is over. Miami escapes with a 3-point victory over the Packers. As Don Shula runs his mark to 6-0 against the Packers.